Hey there, coffee lovers and internet explorers. Welcome back to SipCyber. There are some small habits that people have that don't make sense at first, until they do. My husband loves to fish. It's one of those things that resets him. Early mornings, quiet water, the kind of stillness that's hard to find anywhere else. And don't forget the beers when he's fishing with friends. And one of our good friends is the same way, maybe even more so. Every time he catches a big fish, he takes a picture. Of course, the fish was this big. And every single time before he sends that picture to anyone, he screenshots it. Not crops it, not edits it, screenshots it. The first time I heard that he did it, I asked why. He smiled and said, "There's a lot more in a picture than people think." And that thought stayed with me, especially later when I was sitting inside Profit Coffee in North Charleston in South Carolina. It's one of those places that feels intentional the moment you walk in. There's this vintage warmth to it, rust-colored tile under your feet and on the walls, and what stood out most was how thoughtful everything felt. I've recently started working with an amazing colleague who has some pretty significant allergies. And once you become aware of something like that, you start noticing it everywhere. Places that make it easy, places that make it hard, places that have clearly thought it through. And this was one of those places. Everything felt considered, welcoming, safe, in a quiet, unspoken way. Even the milk choices told that story. Alternative milks were the default, not the alternative. Not something that you had to ask for. It felt like a place built on awareness, on noticing the things that most people miss. And sitting there, I kept thinking about that screenshot. Because in the physical world, we notice what's visible. The cup in front of us, the person across the table, the care someone puts into a space. But in the digital world, there's often a second layer we don't see at all. And we're not just talking about fishing. Think about the pictures you take, the ones your kids take, the ones your parents take. Birthday parties, first days of school, vacations, a quick picture in the backyard. Moments that feel simple, moments that you want to share. But that picture of a fish, or any of those moments, it doesn't just show the catch. It can include the exact location it was taken, the date and time, the type of phone it used. Sometimes even details about the camera itself. That's called metadata, and most of us never think about it, but it's there, quietly attached to the image. So when you send a photo straight from your phone, you might also be sharing where you were, where your home is, where your routines happen. Not because you meant to, but just because it came along with the picture. That's why our friend screenshots his photos. A screenshot strips that hidden layer away, it keeps the moment, and leaves the rest of all of it behind. This is one of those moments where a small step can make a big difference. If you want to keep that extra data from being attached in the first place, you can turn off location tagging in your camera settings. On most phones, it's under privacy or location services. You just remove location access from the camera. It takes less than a minute, and from that point on, your photos won't quietly store where they were taken. Just the image, nothing extra. Sitting there in Profit Coffee, everything felt like it had been considered. What to include, what not to. People feel safe without making it complicated. And maybe that's part of how we can approach our digital lives too. Not everything needs to be shared. Not everything needs to come along for the ride. Sometimes the most thoughtful thing we can do is quietly leave a little less behind. Thank you for joining me on this trip to Profit Coffee and for taking a small step to secure your digital life. Until then, stay safe, stay human, and keep sipping.